There's an individual by the name of Gavin Wax, who was an employee of the Babylon Bee. He was the vice president of marketing, I believe. But he was like almost executive level at Babylon Bee. And he's very openly pro-Trump. So pro-Trump that he is anti-DeSantis, right? Which, just stepping back for a moment, is a position that I don't understand. I don't understand how you could be so pro-Trump that you're anti-DeSantis or so pro-DeSantis that you're anti-Trump. Like, we're fighting Marxists in our country, right? We're fighting radical leftists who hate our country and want to destroy it. And both Trump and DeSantis are fighting against those Marxists. So you can prefer one candidate or the other. I'm sure I will at some point in this primary process. Nothing wrong with that. You can think that one's a better fighter, but bananas to me that you could be so pro-Trump that you're anti-DeSantis or so pro-DeSantis that you're anti-Trump. That's crazy to me. But Gavin Wax is so pro-Trump that he is essentially anti-DeSantis. And he went on a rant this past weekend against DeSantis's rapid response director. She's part of DeSantis's communications team. At first, she was his press secretary when he was governor. Now she works on his campaign. And it's Christina Pushaw. And Gavin Wax went after Christina Pushaw, who has kind of unleashed on Twitter since DeSantis announced that he's president, in the sense that DeSantis didn't really criticize President Trump, never really said his name before he announced. And now he is going after President Trump. Now his people are criticizing President Trump's policies where DeSantis's policies pretty radically disagree with Trump, like COVID, for example, the COVID vaccine, for example, COVID lockdowns. Most things COVID related, DeSantis and Trump are pretty far apart on. And the DeSantis team has been criticizing Trump pretty heavily on that on Twitter. I have zero problem with that. That's fine. That is a distinction between the two candidates, and probably a distinction that will make a difference for some voters. So that in and of itself is not problematic. But Gavin Wax, formerly of the Babylon Bee, though not to get ahead of my story, tweeted at Christina Pushaw and said, "What the F is your problem, Christina Pushaw?" And Seth Dillon, who is the CEO of the Babylon Bee, publicly fired Gavin Wax for degrading and using profanity against Christina Pushaw in that public forum, right? So this caused an uproar, drama on Twitter, right? Some people on the Trump camp were like, "Oh, wow, Babylon Bee firing Gavin Wax publicly on Twitter, that's not a cool move." And other people were like, "No, when you go after a woman with profanity, when you work for a Christian organization, that's not representing the Christian organization well, so it's perfectly fine, not only for you to be fired, but for that accountability to be public since your transgression was public," right? So you can see what I mean when I say drama.